Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeff Higgins from Higgins Storm Chasing. It is Monday, the 30th of October, 2017. Okay, in this video, we're going to have a look at the severe storm potential for southeast Queensland and central Queensland, along with storms forecast right across the state. But I want to show you something in the southeast here that is very important for severe thunderstorms to develop, and also through central districts. Okay, currently it is around about 12 noon, and we have thunderstorms currently active from about just west of Rolleston down to Charleville. This is right upon the surface trough and upper trough feature, which is coming basically right across the state today and into tonight. There's also some lighter activity there around Longreach. We've had some morning thunderstorms come through the southeast, but they're now clear. Right, this is via weather zone. Let's go over here and have a look at the severe weather threat index. This is for 1 p.m. today, so approaching over the next hour or so. There is severe weather potential basically down here through Brisbane and the Gold Coast, so that southeast pocket from about Brisbane to the ranges south. All right, but there is some issues here that may arise. There is potential there, so keep an eye out for there. Now, from the Sunshine Coast across to Taroom, and I guess just north of Charleville, which would extend to Longreach, Emerald, and across to Rockhampton, there is a lot of severe potential in the atmosphere today, and this is where we do expect widespread thunderstorm activity to develop, with numerous thunderstorms likely to be severe. All right, these are expected to develop inland at first and then push towards the coast from the Sunshine Coast, Gympie, Bundaberg, Gladstone, Rockhampton, Hervey Bay, etc. Thunderstorms that do develop in these regions are likely to have large hail and damaging winds. There may be the odd supercell with very large hail and destructive winds. All right, let's go quickly and show you 4 o'clock at the same index at 4 o'clock. You can see that areas from the Sunshine Coast south, which would include Brisbane, Dalby, Darling Downs, southeast coast, are void of potential. There's dry air pushes through and the trough pushes through off the coast. This is on this forecast model. This is where things get tricky. But there you can see more likely from the Sunshine Coast again, Taroom, Emerald, north to Rockhampton. You can see it's right along the coast there. High values, potential up to 300, anything over 250 is severe potential, so plenty of potential there, guys. This is one of the models that shows a question mark. Okay, it's trying to answer some questions for us for the southeast coast, for that Brisbane to Toowoomba South region, by showing precipitation this afternoon at 4 o'clock through Brisbane, Gold Coast and the inland region. This precipitation would be in the form of thunderstorms, and some of those would likely be severe. Okay, so there's your 50-50 split. One model saying, no, it'll be pushed off the coast and we won't get them here. The other model is saying, yes, we believe that we will get them here. You have to include this area under a severe potential because of that. However, from the Sunshine Coast north, you can see the darker shadings of blue and orange, and that is where these thunderstorms, likely severe, are more likely to occur. Don't worry about the strip along the coast. It's capped early, but once these thunderstorms develop inland, they are most likely to push through to the coast, all right, and then use this sea breeze front and northerly wind coming in, with the trough lying just through the inland there. If we have a look at the Brisbane weather balloon, this was sent up this morning at 9 a.m. Very, very important, because these, you've got to know how to read them, but these measure the atmosphere from the ground to 50,000 feet. It tells us what's going on in reality, separate from forecasts. Righto, down here, that spike in that red line there is what we call a cap. It is a warm layer of air above the surface that stops clouds from developing and going into thunderstorms. We have to reach a certain temperature and humidity threshold to get above that cap. Today, the temperature is, minimum threshold is 33 degrees with a dew point of 20 to get above that. All right, there is a little bit of moisture, or a fair bit of moisture, very low to the surface, but then it dries out and moisture does return back in the mid-levels. There's a lot of dry air in the mid to upper levels as well, and that's your large hail generator. Very cold, dry, supercooled air. As the warm, moist air lifts up, it hits this very cold air. We're talking about neg 20 to negative 30 degrees, guys. All right, and that generates large hail. There is a massive amount of lift in the atmosphere, and that makes the hail grow bigger. That's that grey line there, and anywhere between these two lines, -8 LIs up here. I usually reference that to possible hail size as far as 8 centimetres. I convert that back. Up to 8 centimetre hailstones are possible, but not always guaranteed. So we need to break the cap. We need to get above 30. Dew points need to hold. Dry air is a concern in the low levels here. This is Brisbane. All right. If it doesn't break the cap down here, there is marginally enough moisture in the mid levels to use to still generate thunderstorms. Not quite as good as the other day, where it was a bit more certain. You could say, well, if the cap doesn't break, we've still got enough in the mid levels to generate storms. Today is more 50-50. It's more finicky. It's very difficult to give a definitive answer. All right, so that's a bit about the sounding and the weather balloon that's come back out of Brisbane this morning. All right, so let's go over here and have a live look quickly. 6 minutes already. You can see the temperatures at Gatton are 31, Sunshine Coast region 30, Ipswich, Brisbane 30. We need to get them up to 33, guys, over 33. You can see the convection, the clouds starting to develop and bubble up out here along the ranges and inland due to that heat building up a bit more. But we still need to get above that magic temperature, all right? And temperatures, dew points, sorry, let me just try and get it here for you. Dew points need to be above 20 degrees as well as the temperature above 33. Gatton 22 degree dew point, Ipswich 22. They are well above our minimum dew point, but the temperatures need to come up. Now, if those temperature thresholds are reached over the next few hours, this stuff in here along the ranges will develop quickly into thunderstorm activity. All right up there to Kingaroy, right down here to Stanthorpe, and then it'll move east towards the coast. Okay, up here around about the Sunshine Coast right now, we have some high cloud cover moving through. This suppresses temperatures from going up further past that 30 for now. Look behind it. There's next to nothing. Temperatures after this moves through at about 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon, then temperatures will go up. And it's most likely that these regions up here around the Sunshine Coast will reach that cap threshold. And then storms will develop in here, Kingaroy, Nanango, Kilcoy, over me at Maleny here, and then push through to the coast. All right, but it is quite complex today, especially through the southeast. Up further here, above Sunshine Coast to Kingaroy North, is a little bit more certain. Again, now if you go over here and have a look at our premium member maps, what we've had to do is basically, due to model variance, we've included the southeast coast for storms likely, okay, from about the Sunshine Coast south and along the ranges for storms likely. If they do go, they'll be likely to be severe, and we have that in the text, okay? From the Sunshine Coast to Taroom out here to Emerald, right up to Claremont and across to about Rockhampton, all right, storms are more likely, and then some severe are more likely as well in the red shaded area. All right, that's the reasoning. So all of this data you see that we look at here, we put over into an easy map on our premium membership, which you can sign up here, guys, if you haven't already. We haven't quite gone right up to our severe storm, which would include supercells and dangerous storms possible. Just didn't quite want to take it to that next level. Could have probably gone through here with it, but we also have mentioned it in text above, very large hail damage, destructive winds. But we feel as though supercells today will be slightly less because of the lack of turning in the atmosphere. All right, guys, stay safe out there. Keep an eye out for updates as they come through to the page and things develop. They will develop quickly once they go. And the biggest eyeball at the moment that we're watching, or our eyes are on, eyeball, whatever, is this southeast coast region. If they go, they'll be along the ranges and then come through. But there is a chance that they just won't go today. What do you do? 50-50, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Put yours in and say, look out, could happen. Up here further's more likely, guys, all right? And that runs right up through Rockhampton. Now, Rockhampton's north, I will mention Rockhampton north to Mackay to Townsville to Cairns. Thunderstorms are more likely through the inland regions, through here, because the cap along the coast is too strong to break. They might push through to the coast if they develop inland here. Moranbah is just starting to go right there. So temperature thresholds and dew points are reached through this region much more easier than along the coast, because you get the sea breeze come in along the coast and it just cools the coastal fringe down to like 27 degrees. That's 6 degrees short of the cap that we need to break. So even if storms develop inland up here, they get towards the coast, they die. And that's why, because the atmosphere is not at the thresholds it needs to be along the coast. Okay, I hope that helps to explain things. 10 minutes goes very fast. All right, guys, stay safe today, and we'll see you on page and that this afternoon. We don't have time to answer questions today. We've got warnings to be issuing and emails and alerts to send out and chasing and all sorts of stuff. We're just crazy busy on days like today, so it's almost impossible for us to answer individual questions. All right, thanks for watching, guys.